Let's talk about how the first half of the 2021 season went for the Phillies. Yo, what is going on, everybody? Welcome to the Phillies Stats Symphony Cast. We're having our 2021 Phillies mid-season review here, as we're going to be talking about the Phillies' first half of the season and expectations moving forward. We're also going to go over some player stats as well. Now, guys, before getting into this video, please subscribe if you have not yet. Please hit the notification bell. Please like this video, comment on this video, share this video, and let's get into this. So, before getting into the baseball side of this video, I would just like to announce that after rethinking it, and I've thought a lot about it, I've decided that I will not be covering the 2021 Home Run Derby as well as the All-Star Game. I need a break, ladies and gentlemen. I do. I really, really do. I mean, I recap every single Phillies game. I mean, day in and day out. I love what I do. I love the grind. You all know that. But there comes a time where you just need a break. I mean, you just need a break. I don't think I even need to say that, right? I mean, I'm a hard worker. I love what I do here. I really, really do, and I don't get paid for this. This is volunteer work. I mean, I'm here because I love what I do, and I love the Phillies, and I love showing my passion and emotion. But it's called the All-Star Break. It has a break in it, if you see that. So that includes someone like me. I mean, I need a break. So I hope you all understand. I hope I didn't upset you. And I understand I did do it 2 years ago. In 2019, I did cover the Home Run Derby and the All-Star Game. But I started recapping games on a daily basis, I believe, on like June 20th or June 19th. So around that time. So I barely had any time. I didn't really need a break back then. Now I need a break. I do every single game. So I hope you all understand that. Who knows? Some years I might do it. Some years I might not. I mean, this year is one of those years I just need a break. I need to sit down and chill and just kind of focus on some other things. So I don't want to talk too much about this. But yes, I will not be covering the All-Star Game and Home Run Derby this year. I'll see you back on Friday. I'm not going anywhere. But doubleheader against the Marlins. I'll be back. I'm disappointed. I planned on doing it, and I just thought a lot about it. I'm like, you know what? I need to rest. I just need a break. It's going to be really nice. It's going to be really, really nice. Of course, I'm going to be watching. I'll probably put some of my story about it, but no recap. There will be no recap about it. So let's get into the baseball side of this video. So talking about the 2021 Phillies first half of the season, pretty much where I expect them to be. A 500 record, 44-44. And I went in the season preview, actually wearing this jersey. It's been a while since I've worn this jersey. Predicting a 86-76 record. So they're about where I thought they would be. Nothing spectacular, right? Of course, I'm a 500 baseball team. But I even said in that video, I said I could see us being around a 500 team. We're around a 500 team. So this Phillies team has pretty much met my expectations. This is pretty much where I thought they would be. And I think the biggest thing that has really hurt them in the first half of the season this year was blowing games late in the ball game, right? I also think the injuries haven't helped, especially on the offensive side too. You saw when this offense is healthy, it is on. It is on. I mean, it's fun to watch with this offense. It's lethal. It's amazing. When this offense is good, it is good. I tell you what, it is on. I mean, so that's one thing we know for sure. So at the beginning of the season, when everybody was healthy, and now we're starting to see it now since we're starting to get some of our guys back. Like Didi, we all know he was out for a little bit, and that's the reason, unfortunately, just went down. But I tell you what, I mean, that's one thing we have learned, and we all know this pitching staff can be inconsistent. I mean, there were times, where the offense didn't go cold, but that was usually during the times when, Hart was hurt, JT was hurt. I mean, usually on those kind of times. But jump into the little player stats here. Bryce Harper, we're going to start with him. The $330 million man signed a monstrous 13-year contract 2 years ago, and put on the red Philly pinstripes. And since he's donned those pinstripes, he's put up pretty good numbers. And I believe he's earned that contract. I'm not really here to talk about that. Right, this is a season review, not a Bryce Harper review. But he's done his job this year. I'm sure some would disagree, of course. Especially some who don't really know much about the advanced stats. But 278 average, 15 homers, 35 RBIs, which is a little low, but honestly, not really his fault. I was talking to my grandfather about this too, and I've been saying it. It's just no one's really getting on base for him, especially at the beginning. Now the RBIs are starting to come. You shouldn't see that. Very solid year for Bryce. 35 walks on the year. He's had a very good year in that department. And he sits with a current 375 on base percentage, which is very, very good, of course, right? I mean, that's his great. OPS just below the 900 mark. And we all know he's very, very unlucky. So 278 average, around a 280 average for Harper. I mean, great job. We always talk about that. So going to the second half of the season for Harp, I want to see him finish off with around 35 home runs. That is doable. That is doable. Let me just say that. He was around this number in 2019, and it was like, oh no, he's only going to hit like 28, 30. He ended up with 35. So Harper could definitely do it. Of course, his RBI total was way higher at this point in 2010. I believe it was like almost near 60. But I don't think he's going to get 114 RBIs. I think he has a very good shot at getting around 80, 85, 35 home runs. That's a very good season. 280 average. Almost close to 400 base percentage, 900 OPS. That's a Hall of Fame year. It is a Hall of Fame year. You cannot argue. So enough about Bryce. I mean, he's doing his job. Go look at center field. It was a puzzle for the Phillies this year in center field in 2021. You want to know that Dubal Herrera did take the rings here for a little bit. Of course, now he is hurt with that ankle issue. Tell him the 10-day IL. But prior to him getting that nod, it was, guys like, Adam Hazley start the season, Roman Quinn, Mickey Moniak, guys that just weren't it. It just didn't work out. And it was clear as day, ladies and gentlemen, they just weren't the answer. And they had to try it, but they went to the last resort in Odubel, and he seemed to figure that out, right? I understand that, prior to him going on the IL, he was really cooling off. But I think that part of the reason why is because he was hurt, and he was playing through an injury. Of course, it's a speculation, not proven. But I tell you what, I mean, I've been very impressed with Dubal Herrera when he's on, right? I mean, he started off, terrible, first like 20 at-bats or so, absolutely dreadful. Then he kind of got into a groove. And then, of course, like I said, prior to his injury, wasn't really there. Think about that. He was out of baseball 2 years. So you got to cut the guy a break a little bit. He could be in the beer and the lights out there, sometimes. But, second half of the season, I want to see him pick up where he left off, prior to having this injury, right? I mean, excluding, when he was, going through that cold streak. And we all know he's a streaky guy. Andrew McCutchen on the final year of a 3-year deal. Of course, he does have that option. A 228 average, which is pretty low. But I'm not going to look at that average, really. I'm not really going to emphasize that too much. At his age, a 346 implementation, that is great. He started out the season really sluggish, hitting below the 200 line, which was just absolutely dreadful to start off the year. And since then, he's really picked it up, right? I mean, even the OBP was really low. He's gotten that up to 346. A solid season for Andrew McCutchen. I mean, he's on pace for probably over 25 home runs. His defense does concern me a little bit. Probably going to go to an American League team if the Phillies don't, maybe renegotiate a 1-year deal. But tell you what, I mean, he's had himself a very solid season. A guy his age, former Gold Glove, the former MVP, has had himself a very solid year. Of course, we all know that he's a shell of the former player he once was. But I mean, big deal, right? I mean, he's getting older. I mean, you expect that. So I'm very proud of what Andrew McCutchen has been able to do for the Phillies this year. Been pretty productive for a guy, for a guy his age. Moving over to first base, Rhys Hoskins. We all know that he has his ups and downs. Oh my goodness, does he? He's the team leader in home runs and RBIs, sits at 20 homers on the year. He's definitely done a good job of that department. And even RBIs, 55 RBIs. He's going to get over 100 RBIs, first time in his career probably. And hopefully he can get 40. I'd love to see Rhys Hoskins get 40 home runs. One thing about Rhys, the average is low this year, and the OBP also a little low comparing, to his previous years. Usually he has a pretty high on base percentage. This year it sits at 313. It's not great. It could be a lot better. But honestly, I'm going to say this. I'm going to propose something. I'd much rather, you saw what he did in the second half of 2018. Now, he was a walk machine, but he had like 170 with I'm exaggerating, like 2 home runs. I mean, he did nothing other than walk in the second half of 2018. I'd rather have a little lower OBP and have him driving way more runs and hit more home runs over the wall. Okay? And I'm going to say that. Of course, the average is what it is. He's around a 235 hitter for his career. I mean, this guy does not hit for a high average. He just doesn't. He's very inconsistent, hot and cold. I mean, I've never seen a guy as inconsistent as Rhys Hoskins. This guy is insanely inconsistent. I mean, this guy can go on a tear and carry your team for a while, for weeks. This guy, he's so up and down, and usually, his cold stretch and his hot stretch usually last around the same. I mean, when this guy's hot, I'm going to give him credit. He carries. He really does. He really carries. So moving to the second half of the season, defense hasn't been great for Rhys this year. Get on base a little bit more, continue to hit the ball over the wall. Not too much, though. I don't want him to go back to second half of 2019 level. I understand he was like, what did he lead the National League in walks in 2019? I want to see him hit the ball with a wall still. I want to get the average up a little bit higher, continue driving runs, but don't. Oh man, I don't want that. I mean, we don't want him hitting like 170 like he did in the second half in 2019. So moving on, Gene Segura. He sits at a 322 average, and one thing he's really done a good job at this year is getting on base. 371 OBP, also very, very solid for a guy like Gene Segura. Of course, he's not really known for being a power hitter, and also his 322 batting average does not qualify for the team average. Harper is the current leader because, of course, both of them missed games, but Gene Segura has missed too many games. He's not enough plate appearances to qualify for that. It makes sense. But he's not like he's only played 10 games. I mean, eventually, as the season goes on, he doesn't have. Let's hope he doesn't have another injury. He eventually will, go back in the lead of that. So Gene Segura, a very, very solid season. Probably was deserving of an All-Star nod if he had not been hurt. But unfortunately, him getting hurt really put a damper on that. He's done a very, very good job with his. He's a hit machine. They call him Gene the Hit Machine for a reason. So he's had a very productive year at second base. What am I seeing to Gene Segura in the second half? Just continue to see a hit machine stay healthy. And not much really more to be said, right? I mean, he's Genie in the machine. Moving on to short, Didi Gregorius was hurt a majority of the first half of the season. When Didi's on, he is on. I mean, you see it. I mean, he's already has 3 homers since coming off of the IL. And the reason why his average dropped so much, especially prior to him going on the IL, is because he was hurt. He was playing hurt. So that's why he was not doing so well. So when this guy's healthy, he's good. The defense, those does concern me a lot. He was a decent defender with the Yankees, but man, defense on the left side of the infield, treacherous, terrible. So clean up the defense, Didi Gregorius. That's all I really got to say about Didi. I mean, you saw, he's a power hitter. Hit the ball to the short porch and right. You saw what he did last year. So a healthy Didi is a scary Didi. So I'm just going to say that. I mean, he just needs to stay on the field, which has been a problem for him in his career. Moving on to third, Alec Baum. Sophomore season was considered for Rookie of the Year last year. Unfortunately, he did fall short. An outstanding Rookie year last year in a 60-game season. I mean, I'm a little bit disappointed in what Alec Baum has been able to do this year. I mean, recently he's been really picking it up, right? I mean, he was around a 200 average there for a little while. He was able to get his average up to 243. And his OBP was sitting at 248? Now it's up to 298. So he's turned it around a little bit. I will say that. He just needs to try to salvage the season. Either way, it's not going to be a great year for Alec Baum. The defense is horrible. It's one of the worst I've ever seen. But if he can finish off with a 270 average or so, 330 OBP, hopefully he can get that high. Not terrible. He's not nearly as good as he was in 2020, but 2020 also was such a small sample size. It's hard to look at 2020 numbers, good or bad, because it's just so difficult because it was just so short. Moving behind the plate, JT Realmuto, first year of a 5-year contract, signed JT. Am I right? One thing he's done a great job with this year is getting on base. A 370 OBP for JT Realmuto. I mean that's great. He's never gotten on base that much in his career. Never. I mean, this is like a new thing for JT Realmuto, right? He's been getting on base a lot this year. One thing he has not done a good job at this year is throwing out runners. He has not done a good job with that. He's been a pretty poor job. He's had a lot of people to steal on him, so he needs to turn around in the second half and do a better job with throwing out runners and to get the job done with that. So that's really all I got to say about JT Realmuto. A 268 average. The power's been decent this year. I mean, he had 25 homers in 2019. He has 8 right now with 34 RBIs. So power definitely a little bit down this year, but you know what? I mean, we're paying him to be a good catcher around the plate too. I mean, but he needs to turn that around though. He hasn't been great back there. I mean, he hasn't made a lot of bonehead decisions. Not a lot of pass balls, but throwing guys out, not really there this year. So he needs to do a better job with that. Moving on, a little bit about the bench. I'm not really going to touch on this too much. Take a look at some of our threats off the bench. Brad Miller, Ronald Torreyes. Brad Miller very, very streaky. I mean, he carried us, and remember against Miami, when we were really hurt, he carried us. Ronald Torreyes, has his ups and downs, but he saw what he did in Boston yesterday. Great, very solid. So I'm really impressed with what Ronald Torreyes has been able to do. I'm a big Ronald Torreyes fan. I am, and you saw what he did with the Yankees in 2017. Very, very solid. So not really surprised me. But one thing that I've really been impressed with this year is younger players for the Phillies coming up and doing their jobs, like Nick Maton and Luke Williams. I understand they both cooled off, but that's a bright spot right there. That is a bright spot. And Andrew Knapp, I still really just don't know why he's the backup catcher. I like Rafael Marchand so much better. I understand it though, because Knapp does have more experience back there. It's a better relationship with the pitchers too, especially like guys like Zach Eflin, of course, one of his good butts. So you have to keep that in mind too. I mean, it's not just, oh, well, it's not just a computer. It's not just an AI, right? I mean, you got to go out there and play the game. There's a mental side to this too. So take a look at the pitching staff. Zach Wheeler leading this pitching staff at the top of the starting rotation. He has had himself an awesome season, ladies and gentlemen, going to the All-Star game with a 2.26 ERA. He did have a 2.05 ERA at one point. His fastball is insane feel, and he can even cap out at 100 miles an hour on that fastball post TJ. This guy's outperforming his contract. He is amazing. He's amazing. Mixing the off speed with that too, with that awesome fastball. So he had the off start in Chicago. He kind of got some bad luck, but I tell you what, he has been the Philly savior in the starting rotation this year, without a doubt. And moving forward, I just want to see him build off of this impressive first half, and I'd love to see him. We all know he won't win the Cy Young for obvious reasons, because of Jacob deGrom, but I'd love to see him finish second in the Cy Young voting. I'd love to see that, just to have him be there. And take a look at Aaron Nola. Disappointing first half of the season. Reminds me of something he did in 2019. But the thing is, this is different 2019, right? I mean, Zach Wheeler's our guy. He is our guy. Aaron Nola is no longer the guy. So Zach Wheeler is the guy. Aaron Nola, the pressure's been off of him, but I tell you what, I mean, he's very inconsistent. He showed a horrendous outing he had against the Giants in San Francisco. He's just very hot and cold. But when he's on, he's on. Another guy. I mean, this year his breaking ball's been catching way too much of the plate. That's why the home run, rate, that's why he's allowing a lot of homers. Just waiting for it. You hang it, you bang it. We all know that. And then the changeup is just it just seems dead. Like there's no life to the changeup, and it just gets knocked around. So, Aaron Nola, we all know his fastball he's not really known for the fastball, he's more known for the curve and the change, but you need to see him bounce back. I mean, he bounced back a little bit in 2019, so hopefully he does that again here in 2021. Zach Eflin, very hot and cold, very inconsistent, but I'm impressed with him this year. He's been very good for us when he's on. Doesn't have the most amazing stuff to work with, but he knows how to get the job done. He's done a very good job with the walk department, not really walking a lot of people. It shows he's locating his pitches. But going into the second half of the season for Zach, I want to see him build off of the impressive first half. I want to see him be more consistent. Moving on to Vince Velasquez, disaster. All right, we all know that. Shouldn't even be in this rotation. He should be in the bullpen. Horrendous first half. Had a great month of May, though. I will say that. He had a great month of May, but I tell you, April, he didn't really start anything in April, but June, July, terrible. Not good at all. Of course, you were only halfway through July, not even. But I'm pretty disappointed with Vince. I mean, this is the Vince we all know. I mean, it's a shame because his fastball has a lot of velo on it. Just can't really locate. It has a lot of potential to be very, very good, but just can't get it together. He can't. It's a shame. It really is a shame. Definitely disappointing. I mean, I don't think he's going to be in the start. Who knows? Because his team gives him way more opportunities than they should. So I'm pretty disappointed with what he's been able to do for us this year. So I don't even know anymore. I it's pathetic why this guy continues to get opportunities. Guys like Matt Moore. Not the answer, right? I mean, I put him back in the same category, just washed up. I mean, Matt Moore and Chase Anderson washed up. I'm not impressed with them at all. Take a look at the bullpen. Not good. Not good. It's not good at all. We need another starter. We also need a couple more arms in that bullpen. Hector Neris originally started the season as the closer, is no longer the closer, and I'm glad he is not, of course, since he just really seemed to choke in that spot. Jose Alvarado. Another disaster. I'm not a fan of this guy at all. He has a lot of potential, can't locate his pitches, and he drives me crazy. I don't like watching him pitch. I don't. It has a lot of potential, though. I will say that. I'm very frustrated with this bullpen. I mean, that's one thing I will say. All these arms we got, Sam Coonrod's hurt right now. I understand that, but all these arms we got, guys like Brandon Kinzer, Archie Bradley, major disappointments. I'm tired of people giving these guys excuses. I understand, yes, some excuses are valid, but this bullpen really makes my head just turn. It just does. And one guy I really like, though, at the back end in the closing spot, to solidify the back end is Ranger Suarez. And it really, befuddles me why David Dombrowski passed on the legendary relief pitching class, but that's a whole nother show for another day. I'm a really big Ranger Suarez fan. He's been great for the Phillies this year. Great. He's been awesome. So I've been really impressed with what Ranger's been able to do coming out of the bullpen, now in the closing role. That's pretty much it for the first half of the season. I'd like to see David Dombrowski go out and get some guys, of course. I'd love to see him go get a couple more bullpen arms, get another starter. I mean, I think that'd be great too. We need, the more the merrier. I mean, don't waste on the offense. The offense is good. Of course, maybe another bench bat or something, but I don't think you really need to do much with the offense. I think that focus definitely needs to be pitching. The Phillies need to be more consistent in the second half, and this is not over. It's not hopeless, right? I mean, we have a shot at this division. I mean, they just need to get their act together and be more consistent. We're 3.5 back. Just get your act together and be more consistent. This is doable. I mean, this is doable. So we can do this. So the Mets aren't that great. They're not. Don't let the people fool you. I'm just going to say that right now. Don't let the people fool you. So I'm really looking forward to the second half of the season and getting a little bit of a break here. I'm going to make a video about Andrew Painter today, and that'll be it. I'll be back Friday. Getting a little break here. It's been a while since I've gotten a break, but yeah, guys, thanks for watching this video. Please subscribe if you haven't yet. Please notification bell. Please like this video, comment on this video, share this video. Check out the social media link in the description section. At Phillies Hotstove, Instagram, check over Instagram, call or text 267-225-3392. Email me, phillieshotstove@gmail.com. I will be live streaming some of the All-Star Game and the Home Run Derby, but no video recaps out for those. So I'll see you back on the Andrew Painter video. So guys, who are watching, those are pretty much where I expect them to be. 500. We're a 500 mediocre team. So guys, who are watching, I'm Luke, and I'll talk to you later. Let's go, Phillies. I'll see you guys.